We are in here.
Okay. Welcome everyone to a very different and another episode of the Wordness to the Nerdness podcast, the show where nerdy guys talk about games, movies, TV, and everything else in the nerdy universe. You can find our podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and now YouTube. We release a new episode each and every Thursday. Feel free to give us a shout out at Words to Nerds on Twitter. I'm joined by the workout machine, Nathan Grote.
Only for a week.
and our resident Floridian retiree.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back.
Myself, Curtis Potter. So
I'm back.
Yeah, so this is new for us. So we are doing video.
This is gonna be very interesting. So so you guys know, if you like the way this looks, this is my first time recording this ever, and really trying to do much with OBS. Did a little bit of like streaming experience with OBS, but I have the brain of a child, so all of this is just like it may turn out, it may not. No promises.
I think it'll be good. So, but
yeah, we got this.
So what a week, you know?
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Actually,
I need to hear about
exercise juggernauts.
This little Apple Watch here. Now I can say, like, hey, for you visual people, now you can see this. It's got a little thing on there where it's like you want to get like hit your move deal. You want to work out 30 minutes a day. You want to burn X amount of calories or however much you want to set it at, and then like be standing for like 12 hours a day. That's how you'll get like your whole move goal. And you can do competitions with other people. So Curtis, you've done this before, right? You've done this and Curtis was like, hey, let's do this competition. It's like, all right, well, you can get up to 600 points a day, but that 600 points is a culmination of each percentage of like your daily whatever. So your move goal, your workout goal, all that stuff. Like it's each minute of your workout would be like 1%, you know, going towards her. Anyway, so Curtis and I are doing this competition. Day one, he beats me. I was like, all right, I got to work a little bit harder. Day two, worked out a little bit harder. He still beats me. It's like, damn it. So then day three, we both max out at 600 points. Mm-hmm. And so it got to this point where like this competition is getting crazy. And it's to the point where we're doing a competition. Curtis I find a day where he's not able to max out at 600 points. And then so my conniving ass waits till like 11 o'clock at night to work out real late so I could get up to that 600 points before Curtis, if Curtis realizes it, it's like, oh shit, it's 11:45. I don't have time to catch up. Oh man,
dude! And I was out too, so I was up till like 3 a.m. that night. I'm like, fuck! I'm like, check that later. I'm like, when the hell did this happen?
I'm literally dead.
Yeah,
I've been tired all day trying to recover.
For real. You just did like what was that? 80-minute high intensity workout?
Yeah, no, it's like 60 minutes. But I had walked Bernie earlier that morning. I had to make sure I got all the points. I was like, look, I need to do this now because I might get tired later tonight.
Yeah, I think once you close all your rings, everything's bonus points or something.
Yeah.
So that's where you really like start racking them up. But yeah.
It's been brutal. It's the hardest I worked out since college football, probably.
Really?
Actually, no, for sure. It's the hardest I've worked out since playing.
Yeah, it's a great motivator. It's awesome. So I'm all about it. I did one with
it's very
Lou.
Motivating.
Last week I did one with Lou, so I'm gonna have to hit him up again because he was slacking.
Yeah.
So.
Now all of us are in it. Well, I'm not competing against Curtis again. I have to wait and recover for that. But Sean and I now are doing one.
I'm competing against Sean too. So bring it. How was Florida? All that fun?
Oh god, dude, that was brutal. I guess like JFK got all messed up because there was like a thunderstorm or something. So every flight coming in Wednesday got moved back. And then like from then on, everything was getting canceled and moved. So my flight got canceled on Wednesday. We got to the airport at 11 in the morning. And then we stayed there until 8 at night. and they were like, "Oh, sorry, it's canceled." Like, whoops. So then I had to reschedule.
There for 9 hours?
Yeah, dude. And like every 30 minutes, they would check in and be like, "Yep, it's delayed. It's delayed. It's delayed." And then finally, at like 8:30, they were like, "It's canceled. Sorry. Like, there's nothing we can do." So as soon as I said that, I went on Google Flights. I'm looking, and then every single seat coming back, not even Wednesday, Thursday, was $1,500 a minimum. Luckily, I got $500 for 2 seats. We had to connect at Charlotte and then to JFK, but dude, it was just a nightmare. And then JetBlue was like, "Sorry, it's weather related, so you're on your own. Like, we're not paying for a hotel.
Did you have to
food,
stay at the airport?
Car,
or did you get
nothing."
A place?
So it's like, all right, sweet, cool.
Damn.
Yeah, it was rough. But
okay, so what about Florida though? Like,
Florida was lit. It was so nice. It was actually a very relaxing vacation for me. Our hotel was like across the street from the beach, and it's just like a nice
dope.
there's a nice sandbar and everything. So it's not crazy waves. It was just like a nice relaxing, like warm water. It's on the Gulf side, so it was beautiful every day. But just ate way too much, drank way too much. The usual vacation.
As you do.
Usual.
That's why I'm competing with you guys now.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. You had this badass vacation that capped with this bunch of bullshit.
Oh, I
that
know,
sucks.
dude. And we lost the day on the way in too because there was weather also.
No kidding. Damn.
Dude,
that's crazy.
Fuck it.
I've heard of situations where people will drive to another airport, like rent a car or whatever, and then like just to do that because it's so backed up. But
for sure, that's what we were looking to do. But it was wild.
Damn weather,
Damn weather.
You can have some of our just straight up heat if you want. I think we got like 103 today or something.
Ooh, yeah, you're starting to get hotter than we are. I think we were high like 90 today.
Damn, the grass is just straight up brown, like it's crispy. There's no green left in Texas right now.
Oh my god.
It's been hot. I like mowing the yard on the weekends. Like when I have time, I hate doing like after work, and so like I managed to mow my front yard, but my backyard is starting to become a jungle. So and I keep thinking like, God, it's so bad. I need to go mow it, but I don't really want to. And like, as I keep saying that, it just keeps getting worse. And it's going to suck. I'm probably gonna have to mow it before drunk night tomorrow. It's going to have to happen. And then I'll have to have a drink.
Do you have a push or a ride on?
Dude, so guess what daddy got?
Oh shit.
I got myself one of those, it's Ego mowers. It's like one of those battery operated mowers.
Oh no.
So it's no more gas. Just pop that sucker in and it runs for like 60 minutes. Dude, it actually works phenomenally well.
That's awesome.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Oh shit.
No issues yet.
See, my neighbor will just mow my lawn because we have little lots. So I'm like, why would I bust out the lawnmower to mow the backyard for just like a teensy bit? So yeah.
So when was the last time you mowed your backyard?
It's been a bit, but luckily nothing's growing because it's all dead. So we're good.
Well, I guess that's good then.
Yeah.
It's still like every week for me at least.
Oh man,
I'm waiting for that to slow down. Oh God.
I was gonna say if it's a push, you can rack up some exercise points there.
That is true.
That is true.
You'll probably classify it as high intensity, so you get more points.
I probably will. I'll put it on there. I'm gonna look at the high intensity workout and see if it gives me more with it. I don't know. We'll see.
When I was painting one of the rooms in the house, I'd count it as high intensity because it was just I was like dying, dude. It was full body workout.
I'm gonna start doing that with everything. I'm gonna take an intense shower. Let me put on this high intensity.
That's why you guys
have to be
600 points a day. I know you're just sitting at your desk going like this.
every time I'm at work and everything, it's like, well, time to leave the desk and walk around the warehouse. High intensity workout. Let me go in there. I'll just be waving a lot. Everything seems like I'm doing. Like, what are you guys? Hey guys, what are you doing? No, move that over there. Over there.
Are you doing it now? Shut up. I think it goes by your heart rate though, so it won't. You can't super cheat.
Here we go. High intensity workout with the podcast.
You just gonna the whole time or what?
So for those of you audio listeners, he is sitting there pumping his fists while doing the podcast. and making it a high intensity workout on his Apple Watch. We'll see how this turns out. He's trying to rack up the points.
Can we put sound effects over this? Like, holla,
but no, real talk though, with doing this whole workout deal on our watches, like the way it's giving us these points is like really hitting the gamer in me, where it's like, let me reach this gamer score. Gotta complete, gotta do my dailies.
You get those like achievements too, which I'm all about that. So
you see like the shiny badge, and you're like,
yeah.
Get those dailies done.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for it, so it's good. But yeah.
So
what's on the plate for today?
Well, we are
talk about it.
Yeah, so we've been seeing a lot of positive feedback with the last couple of episodes with the format. So this week we're going to continue with that same kind of format. This week we're going to focus on something a little different, something that adds emotion, something that adds really like substance to a couple of games that we all love here. We're going to talk about Marty O'Donnell. You may not recognize this name. Yes. You may not recognize this name, but if you have ever heard the Gregorian chant from the opening of Halo, then you have heard this man's work. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about his life, career, the first soundtrack to make the Billboard charts, his time and controversy at Bungie, and his impact on our gaming future.
Hey,
okay, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting guy. I like diving into these topics. It's really cool. So I'll get started with a little bit of early life. And so Marty O'Donnell was born in 1955, and he seemed like the type that was just destined to be a creative person. He had a mother who taught piano and a father who made films. So it only makes sense to see the direction he took in his life. So fast forward to 70s, 80s, when he pursued a musical education with a Master's of Music degree in composition from the University of Southern California. That's a mouthful.
There we go.
So he ended up moving to Chicago to try to get a job at the American Conservatory of Music. The teaching job fell through, and he ended up working as a grip on film and television.
Well, so is that the boomstick guy?
Yeah, what's a grip?
Grip will do all the prep stuff, or
Oh, okay.
Just any kind of like odd job kind of deal. So, but
yeah, because you put that on there as a grip. I'm like, is that what they call the guy that grips his boomstick?
The actors. I guess like a film helper, on set helper, or stuff like that.
Okay.
So, a colleague approached him to write music for his film, and Marty had a friend who owned his own recording studio and offered to split the profits with him. You've also heard this guy's stuff, Michael Salvatore. He's partnered on Halo and Destiny and everything else. So, anyways, he eventually would become his partner on this project and many more to come. They eventually quit their jobs and founded a Chicago production company called Total Audio in 1983. So they did a lot of jingles for commercials, like the Mr. Clean jingle and the Flintstones Vitamins one. So
how does the Flintstone Vitamin one go?
I don't remember. I had it in my head when I was reading this.
What about Mr. Clean?
I think it's I'm a Flintstones kid or something like that.
It had to have been catchy because I remember my mom like, you better eat these fucking vitamins.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that serious, but I remember it being that serious.
No, yeah, I remember it being serious like that.
Well, that was a thing, but I think around the 90s he got burnt out and was kind of over this same kind of work, and it kind of made sense with the way things are going. I believe like video games was obviously this next thing. So but yeah. So in 93, he actually heard the theme music do y'all remember Myst? That like point and click game for the PC?
Yes, I do.
So he had a friend who knew or had a kid or something, I don't know, some acquaintance with somebody that worked there. And so that's how he heard it. And, he realized like, oh, wow, this is cool. Like video game music is actually more than just like 8-bit, junk or whatever. So he eventually got acquainted with the Myst developers. Now it's kind of key the places he lived in. So like right now he's in Chicago, but I believe this was a Washington-based place where they developed it. So
with Myst,
with Myst,
okay,
yeah. So like 4 years later, they hired him as a sound designer for the sequel, which I didn't even know it had one, called Riven.
And I didn't know it did either.
Yeah, bro.
You played it?
Yeah, Mist and Riven.
I don't remember
100%.
I remember Mist. I don't remember Riven.
Yeah, I do remember Mist. But so the cool part is, so some of the developers working for Riven enjoyed a little game called Marathon, which happened to be developed by a Chicago-based studio named Bungie. So it's kind of weird that when he's in Washington, he sees these people playing a game with Bungie that's in his home court. So
yeah.
So anyways, he contacted Bungie, and I guess that production company, Total Audio, produced the music for Myth: The Fallen Lords. I don't know what that game was, but
it sounds familiar, but yeah, I never played it.
I mean, I knew of Marathon, and there was like another one. But anyways, Oni, yeah. The notable thing here is he met Steve Downes during this, which he eventually... Or sorry, hold on. This is a separate thing. Total Audio composed the music for a different game, and that's where he met Steve Downes, which is the voice for Master Chief. So their company was working on another project, so he kind of like found Master Chief's voice, basically. So
that's pretty crazy.
You can thank him for that one, yeah.
Marty O'Donnell, thank you.
Yeah. So Bungie contracted music for other games, which Oni is like we were talking about, and then the kind of weird thing is in 99, Bungie renegotiated the contracts for Oni, which put O'Donnell like joining Bungie. And then 10 days later, Microsoft bought Bungie. So
damn,
it's kind of a weird like loop. Like if he didn't make that cutoff, who knows if he would have been part of
10
Bungie,
days
and
like
because his company could have gotten cut if Microsoft was like, fuck that, But
yeah.
So and I believe his partner was still running that other company, the Total Audio, which I believe is still in, like they still do stuff today. But
really,
yeah. So it's kind of nuts how all these little pieces and parts like landed, basically to make Halo. If you think about it, like all these weird little deals. So
that is pretty crazy. That all kind of fell in place like that.
Mm-hmm. So and then like kind of like this hasty decision that he made kind of shaped the future of what we know as video games. So after Oni, Marty's next project would be for the Halo E3 announcement in 2000. So he talked with Joseph Staten. So Joseph Staten worked with Bungie, and then he, I believe he left, and now he's one of the writers for the novels and stuff like that. So he's pretty like deep into the lore. But anyways, Marty decided that he needed the music to feel big, exciting, and unusual with a classical orchestra touch to give it some weight and stature, his words. So he also wanted to give it an ancient feel. So that's where that Gregorian chant thing came up with.
Yeah.
So so this is the real key to like all games nowadays. The next part was probably the most influential parts of video game history. Martin didn't know how long the E3 presentation was going to be, so he created an opening and closing sections for the music that could be expanded or cut as needed. So basically, when you would get into combat in Halo, the music would ramp up and get big.
Right.
He kind of like set the, I guess blueprints for that with this title. So think about all games now. They pretty much get big whenever action happens and then die down dynamically. So
wait. So the music. So he made the music first for this, or he's making the music based off of a mission?
No, this is just for the trailer. But because of the way he wrote it, with it, like dynamic like that, that like key point is what really changed. Because Halo was the first game that really did that. Where
the music was crazy.
Yeah, it like builds up into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really remember like Halo 1 like intro like stuff before it came out, because I remember like Halo was out and playable before I heard of it, but Halo 2 was the one where I was like, holy crap, I got to get this game. And in that E3 showing of that, like just the music and everything, it just had, God, it was the most exciting like video I'd ever watched in my life at that time. And the music was just so epic. Like when he jumps out of the ship and then it kind of goes quiet and then the music starts up again. It's like he's falling and it's intense.
Yeah. Yes. So like, and it's crazy. A lot of it all stemmed, I guess, off of this initial, conversation and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Dude,
which I guess
like gives me goosebumps. Like when it was like,
I know.
it does like the little like build in like dun, 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 and then it's like, like when it's getting crazy, like the guitar comes in.
They did the
like
guitar.
It's nuts, dude. It's sick.
I can't remember who the guitarist was on that. Like, it's someone notable. I just don't remember.
Yeah, wasn't like Breaking Benjamin or whatever like part of that too?
It may have.
Now that like you're like saying that, like all I can think of is I just want to hear that music in a Mad Max setting with like a grunt playing the guitar part.
Oh, and like on the front of the car.
The car. That's all I want now.
That needs to happen.
All right, sorry, we interrupted too much.
No, that's good.
Bro made me do it.
God damn. But so I think that like was a huge thing. Like I guess I was listening to one of the interviews with him, and with Halo 1, 2, and 3, he kind of kept building upon what he started. So like you get to Halo 3 and that is insanely epic, Oh
yeah.
Like even the title sequence, I would go leave it on and go walk and come back and it would just be crazy intense. So a big thing with him is he wanted ODST to be completely different, which it has its own feel. I don't know if you like, it's kind of like moody and, like really, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of Halo, but, different. So, and he wanted to do the same thing with Reach. So those two were kind of a departure, but still it was definitely Halo, so.
Well, it's one of those deals where, I mean, all creative geniuses in their own right that make something want to try something a little bit new. Just as times change or as they grow, they kind of want experience, and everyone does that. And I don't know. I always felt like the Halo music always fell in some like its own sort of genre. Like you could play any like Halo song, I feel, and I'd be like, this sounds like Halo. No matter what game it is, I'd be like, this definitely has that Halo sound. So I think he stayed true to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it was a good challenge for him to try something different, and but yeah, and like it's kind of nuts. Like I feel like the first time I played, I didn't pay attention really to the music, but going back and replaying it, it's like you hear stuff ramp up and you're like, oh shit, you just like that memory kicks in from when you were playing, and it's really good. So
like when you're a kid, you don't appreciate it, but like you're still like, it adds so much to like the atmosphere and the zone, like you know what I'm saying? Like when you're playing as a kid, you're just like, yeah, like let's go. But like now you realize that it's like the music's swelling and stuff, like, oh, okay, this is getting me pumped.
Yeah, and it's not like it beats you over the head, like, it's real subtle and stuff. You just you get intense with the game, but you probably don't realize the music is getting you there too. So
yeah,
same can be said for Destiny, that it does good. So.
And you said this earlier, I believe, but this was Halo had the first soundtrack to make the Billboard Top 100. Is that what you said on this?
The ODST soundtrack actually did. So
wow, that's crazy.
I can't remember where it landed, but but I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was the ODST.
That's crazy impressive.
Yeah, he's got some pretty cool stuff under his belt, which, I think that was pretty much up until. So this is basically like the Halo section of his career,
right? Yeah, up till 2010ish. Right?
Yeah, so in 2007, Bungie finally said laters to Microsoft and signed a 10-year development contract with Activision.
It was 2007.
So they created this little unknown title, Destiny. No one's really heard of it. The Halo games, he basically like composed each Halo game independent. Like Halo 1 was composed, done. 2, done. Whatever. So what Bungie or I can't remember who wanted it, but they wanted him to compose for like the entire span of the game. So he was going to do basically all the music for the next 10 years all at one time. So he, wow, which was pretty nuts. So
that's insane.
That would be talk about crunch.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. So like what he did for this was kind of crazy. So he spent the next 2 years composing a symphonic and choral suite in 8 parts. So basically I listened to a little bit of it, but it's like this, the music, but with talking on top of it. Yeah. And it's a bunch of like early Destiny stuff. And it's weird because they have like the Golden Age as one of the titles of the tracks too, which is kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. But the real kicker is he worked, he collaborated with Paul McCartney on this. And so
that's right.
This body of work was called The Music of Spheres. And so music was spoken poetry. It's kind of neat. It's not, I think it's on SoundCloud and like maybe his website or something, but he considered it one of the high points of his career.
I bet.
So this is the real fucked up part. And this is where all the downfall started. Shortly before the E3 in 2013, Activision stepped in and took over the trailer creation for Destiny and scrapped all of his music. O'Donnell was pissed, and
dude, I would have been livid.
Yeah, and like he felt Activision overstepped their bounds, which is pretty nuts. In 2013, this was already happening.
Yeah.
He was even more frustrated to find out that neither Activision or Bungie was keen on releasing the body of work. So he wanted to. The whole goal was to release the Music of Spheres. Mm-hmm. And then release the game, so people could like listen to the music first and then get a feel for what was to come. Usually, game comes out, then the soundtrack comes out later. So this was like a new idea. So during the E3 presentation, he tweeted that the music was not Bungie's. He was threatening fellow employees to not post the trailer online. He interrupted press briefings and all this stuff.
Savage.
He believed Activision had compromised the Bungie spirit, and I think he was pretty correct. We probably didn't realize it as players of the game, and stuff, because we were so far disconnected. But there was a whole bunch of stuff that went on. They tried to basically force him to sign this contract that got rid of all his stocks, and he refused. And they eventually terminated him on April 11th, and he had to go file lawsuits and all this crap to get his stock and unpaid benefits back. So
wait, did he get it?
Yeah, he eventually won at least part of it, but
okay.
It was a whole mess. I mean, I'm sure
because I remember this whole ordeal, but yeah, I guess I didn't really follow much afterwards with it.
But I think he wrapped it up pretty quick. But it was pretty fucked up. So, and he was one of the original employees still working there.
I mean, if he was there during the Oni days, god dang, yeah.
Because there was only like a handful. So
that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
It really is.
So, but yeah, so after Bungie, he had founded this video game development studio called Highwire Games. I don't know if you've heard any of that. This was all pretty new to me. So I was listening to a My Name is Bife interview. He had talked to him around whenever he had a Kickstarter going for a prequel soundtrack. Basically, he was trying to try what he did with Destiny again, but with this game called Golem. So it's a VR game. I don't know anything about it. It was supposed to release March 2018, but it got delayed, and I haven't heard anything else. So, but he's, I guess, working with the studio, and from the interview I listened to, he's kind of keeping things low key and not, obviously he doesn't have Paul McCartney and like Abbey Road studio to like do stuff, and
oh man,
that's pretty nuts. But there's some kind of cool news. This is the future part.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So in 2018, he tweeted a photo of him with I can't remember the person who does Cortana and like that guy that was telling you that's the writer now.
Yeah.
So he tweeted that he was in Seattle with them. Yeah. Which can only mean a couple of things. So hopefully he's part of Halo Infinite, which is kind of
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Microsoft 100% would reach out to him to try and get him after this whole deal. Because I don't really know what like bad blood there was with Microsoft and Bungie when they split up. However, in Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, written by Jason Schreier, when he was doing the interviews and like talking about Destiny, he did say that when they decided to split from Microsoft, Bungie did, there was audible like cheers and everything with them leaving. So wow. I'm assuming it was similar with Activision as well, which is weird that they would have gone from like Microsoft to Activision. It's like you're putting yourself in the same deal. Right. So I'm curious if I don't know if it had anything. I can't imagine that there would be really any bad blood though with Martin O'Donnell and Microsoft, not for the work that he was doing. It's probably more on the gameplay, like.
Yeah, and I feel like they had to have reached out to him when they remastered, because 343 would have been definitely. I mean, he was broken up on Bungie by then, but when they remastered the Master Chief Collection, like, because they remastered all his old music, so I can imagine that they had to contact him or something. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty nuts though, this whole thing. I mean, he's still like doing his thing and enjoying what he does, I guess. So
I'm curious about this Gollum game though. I'm gonna have to watch a video after this.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they said. It wasn't obviously you're not saving the world kind of thing. He said it was nice to like not save the world for once, because I'm sure that's a little bit of pressure, composing music for something that epic and grandeur. So.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, I would be interested to try, see what it is, but I mean, it's cool that he's got his own studio, and I don't know who did the soundtrack on Destiny 2 either. I
don't know either, but I will say I do like the music on Destiny 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. I think his stuff, but they changed it. But so
okay,
I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Like, just a neat little like story. Like, I don't know. I didn't expect all this stuff out of this guy. I just was like, oh yeah, he made the music, and that was it. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of like really interesting stuff behind the people that make these games. I mean, there's just so much talent in this industry, as big as it is, and he's one of the greats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like hands on, even like with Destiny 2, but just Bungie music has just got that sound that's just like better than like most, and we have Martin O'Donnell or Marty to thank for that. So
yeah, I'm sure like all the stuff we listened to, he had a hand in that. It just got kind of taken away from him.
Yeah,
or whatever instance. But
you have to imagine so because like even if I don't know what kind of deal he would have had where he would have been able to take away like all of his music or something. There was a weird deal. Who oh God, shame on me for forgetting this, but who was it that left that was like the writer behind it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Because there was Marty
for Destiny?
and then for Destiny. Damn it, this is gonna.
So I'm wondering like if early the music, because it's like got all this spoken stuff in it. I have to listen to it, but I'm wondering like how much of that was like the original story from the original writer before everything got kind of foobarred.
Well, there was because the way I think the original story was supposed to play out, or at least how he explained it about it, is similar to what we got in Forsaken. That what's his name, Prince Aldrin was like bad, but also good, and then it was supposed to be something like the Traveler's actually bad. I don't remember the whole details, but like it all got scrapped the day before. But I'm going through this to try and figure it out. But what happened was, when he left, apparently he took like his story with him. That's why like Destiny started off in its state, which just seems weird. It's like, how is that possible that you can write a story for a game and leave and keep that like to yourself and not be part of it? That's what like with Marty, when he left, I'm assuming they still had the rights to all the music made for the game.
Probably.
So it's probably
that's like strange.
Put on there.
Because like even if I create a work sheet at work, like it's technically belongs to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, there's a good chance that I put together like a majority of a script for this podcast at work, so technically my work
the work
owns it. So
but
there's
probably ways around it. Like he could just put together like a beat in a minute and be like, oh yeah, this is what I did for you guys, and this is actually what I did at home. And it's like,
from the interviews I listened to, it seemed like he didn't really care. Like he wanted people to hear the music. Like that was more important, that it got out there. Like it seemed like he was more pissed that like that Musicospheres didn't get released properly, which it still technically hasn't. It's out there, but it's not like a proper release on it, I don't think.
Like,
it's kind of crazy.
We think of video games like in such a niche market, and it's like this guy got to work with one of the all-time greatest musicians, like
That is wild.
ever. Like that's nuts. People would kill to work with Paul McCartney, and like he got to, like, you know, that's how good Halo music was.
Yeah, and he was really proud of that too on the interview. He was like, "Yeah, we spent 2 years and busted our ass to get that," you know.
Right.
He was just kind of, I think at the time of the interview it hadn't been properly released, but he's like, "I hope they do, you know, like somebody should release it. I don't, you know, what they're going to do with it, but
like
should happen."
What dingus at Activision like comes in and says, "Okay, this guy did the music for Halo and he worked with Paul McCartney," and now he's like, "Nah, scrap it." Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
like what? Like that's probably the best part of the game you have right now.
And Paul McCartney actually wrote a song for Destiny. It's on the Destiny soundtrack. I mean, I know he had hand in a lot of it. But,
yeah. Joseph Staten was the guy I was thinking of. That was the writer that basically kept all of his like writing stuff with it, which was absolutely insane. But
that is insane.
That is the guy. Yeah, that's the Halo writer.
Yeah.
That's the same dude. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
No shit.
That.
Wow.
He was with them for a long time.
And it was just so weird. Like, I don't know. And this was like 2013. So then he basically had a year to kind of like put together these missions. And so it's just one of those deals where it's so sad of like what Destiny could have launched as. And even though I still think that Destiny's probably like one of the biggest games out there. I mean, Fortnite has really overshadowed, but still Destiny 2 like kept going. It's still strong. But like, man, if it had a crazy story at launch, it would have been wild. The lore was so good. But it just wasn't in game.
Dude, Destiny lore is like nuts. It's so cool.
So timeline wise, he left right before Marty got fired then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Huh. Wow. I wonder how much of that had to do with each other, you know, like
I'm telling you, like the closest that we have right now is like this Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. But one of these days I want a book to be written about what was going on in Bungie during this time before the release of Destiny, because there's a lot. It was a lot going on.
I bet it was scary too.
Anthem.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too with all this Destiny. I feel like we're getting a lot of transparency now finally that we've been asking for years. Or I mean, they don't owe us shit, but it's nice that they're finally like being real with everyone. So
well, because now they're out of the shadow of Activision or whatever.
Yeah. And then didn't they sign up for like with Tencent or something for another game or Bungie? Or was that?
They didn't get money from Tencent. They got money from a company called I do know this. But they have a big hand in No, they got like $100 million from, it'll come to me a bit, but they're big on mobile games. So I think we're gonna get a Bungie mobile game at some point. God, I should know this.
Yeah, dude. What the hell?
You're slapping.
Because the thing is, like, I remember just like reading this not too long ago. Sorry, hold on. It's gonna be like at the bottom of this Wikipedia here. Do.
In the meantime, you guys want to hear my impression of squeaky brakes?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Oh.
Okay, let's never do that again.
Thought I was listening to a car.
Oh. Hey, no. Just never do that again.
Yeah.
Time out. 5-minute ban for me.
You're like, good thing this isn't video.
NetEase. It was NetEase.
NetEase. Okay.
NetEase was the name of the company. Yeah. So we'll probably see some sort of like Bungie mobile game or something down the road. This is interesting. So I just pull up the wiki on this, and they have like Destiny 2 is the games. There's a to be announced game at the bottom. It's platform Microsoft Windows, and it's just called Matter.
Oh.
That I have no idea.
Matter or
Matter.
Huh. Interesting.
You know, some of this stuff we're gonna have to tackle. Bungie deserves its own episode at some point with a bunch of the people who are in there. So we'll talk about that. However, we still have some time, you know, to fill in for the listeners out there. And so I figured we could bullshit and talk a little bit about games. But I have a game I kind of want to talk to you guys about. that I've been playing.
Wait,
And
I'm gazing into my crystal ball.
Dude, it's been making me use my small old child brain here, trying to make it grow just a little bit. So I've been playing this game called Oxygen Not Included. It's a Steam game. It just released out of early access, and it's a strategy survival simulation style game. And this thing is crazy. So the best way is, okay, so the best way that I heard this, I can't remember what podcast I listened to, but the best way I heard this explained of like the art style of this game, it's like Calvin and Hobbes meets Invader Zim. And I was like, that is spot on, like dead what this style looks like.
It's interesting.
So what happens, like, have you guys played Fallout Shelter at all?
Mm-hmm.
No,
like on your phone?
Much. Yeah.
So basically, Fallout Shelter is like you start off, there's your base, you make like rooms, and then you have to like if you do different floors, you have to put elevators so they can go down, and you can have different rooms, and they range from like 1 square to 3 squares in size, and so you want to try and make your base look nice, but also make it somewhat efficient. You like rooms that generate power and rooms that generate water. This is basically what we're doing in this, but it's like times 300. And every little thing you do is has pros and cons, and there's consequences to certain things. You'll start off with 3 guys, and they're called duplicants. And you're like in this little cave. You come through this portal, and eventually, as you go on, like more duplicants will be made in this little portal thing. Well, you have to dig around and make space for your guys to move around. If you want to fall asleep, you have to make cots for them to all sleep in. You can make like floors, which you want to make floors so that they don't like really get sick or get germs from like all the stuff in this cave. But then you also have to produce oxygen. But like the guys breathing, they're also producing carbon dioxide. So if you don't have a way to like either have an algae farm or like even just create like an area, like because the carbon dioxide is heavier than air, so it tends to float on the bottom. Have an area for the carbon dioxide to go, so it's out of the way for your guys so they can breathe. Wiring, you have to do a certain way. You have to deal with the plumbing, the ventilation, like all these different things. And there's like, it's the sandbox huge. There's just so much stuff that you can create and do. It's one of those games where I go home thinking about it. I'm like, or not home, but like I'm going to work thinking about like, oh, you know what? I could do this, and then that would generate more power. And I'm like thinking about this dumb stuff. And I'm like, this game's got me by the dangly bits.
That's awesome.
I'm probably going to play after this while I'm editing the podcast.
Yeah,
I saw y'all talking about it.
It's, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the guys said is it like a Subnautica or something?
Oh,
yeah, and I haven't played that either.
Yeah,
that was Sean's son.
Yeah.
Is it like it? It sounds like it?
Yeah, it's similar in concept, just different execution. Like Subnautica, you land in the middle of the ocean, and there's like a giant ship crash, and you have to explore that, and there's all different things happening. But it's the same idea. You build a base. Okay, the base needs oxygen because it's underwater, so you need to get the oxygen, but then you need to get power to power that, and then you need batteries to power that, and blah blah blah. So it kind of builds in the same way. It's the same idea. And the end goal is to get in a rocket ship and fly away. So
really?
It's
in Subnautica? Or are you just fucking with me?
Yeah, no, I swear
that's what you have to do.
Really, that's what I was like, oh, dude, so it's like Subnautica.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I have to play it.
Yeah. It's actually sick.
The whole like I was playing this game, I'm like, this would be a perfect game for me to stream. So like I can have people come in and like tell me what to do because I still don't know. I watch like the YouTube videos are like 30 minutes long, like tutorials on like how to properly filter gas for throughout your place. But okay, let me tell you about this video that I watched yesterday. So germs is a big deal too, and like things can get infected. So germs in water like will give people food poisoning, and all you guys will get sick and eventually die. Whatnot, they can get slime lung, whatever, they'll end up dying. Well, the only way that like people really knew to get rid of the germs out of your water was to superheat the water so it would steam and evaporate and get like and basically kill the germs. You could also kill germs with chlorine, but you couldn't like put the chlorine in the water because then it would be undrinkable. So what this person did is had a there's like this industrial storage things that you can get, and you can siphon the water into a room that had chlorine, but the water was still in a siphon. But like if you had it filtering in here, it would kill the germs, and then you can set up some sort of system so like it would read once the germs read less than 1, then it could filter to another location of where you want it to clean your water. And it was like a 30-minute video on this. I'm like, how did someone figure that out? Like it's great. Like this is like Raid in Destiny times 300.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Holy
how
crap.
are they figuring this
just
crap
the water.
out? This is just water. This is just filtering germs out of water.
Dude, I feel like this game is like perfect for engineers and those kinds of people where it's like
the reviews I was reading on Steam, it was like the people would have like 2,000 plus hours playing this game.
Jeez.
Like that is absolutely wild.
That's like your only game at that point. Damn.
That's how much. That's how many hours I put in Destiny 1. 2,000 hours.
God.
I wonder how many I put in. How do you check that?
You can do it on the Xbox app if you go to the game.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Right.
It'll break down.
I gotta check the activity.
Yeah.
Any other games you guys been playing?
I've been just grinding Destiny Solstice, which I'm kind of already burnt out on, and I'm not even past the greens or whatever the first level.
Same.
I'm like,
not even past the greens yet.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought I was done, and then I didn't have my cape. I was like, fuck this, I'm done. Like, I'm out.
I don't know what it is. Like, I'm kind of upset that the Solstice gear is the same gear as it was last time.
Yeah, it looks exactly
it's the same damn looking gear, and like I want to grind for it, but then I'm like, man, I just don't like. I'm gonna play a ton of Shadowkeep, and I don't want to get burnt out.
I don't feel like it's worth it. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be better gear with the 2.0 crap. So
I think I'm gonna buckle down this weekend and at least just get the gear for my Titan, but I'm not gonna touch it on my Hunter or Warlock.
Yeah, I just want to finish the Hunter and get it to purple at least. But
yeah, because you can do the masterwork afterwards, which I think that's going to change anyway, because you're going to get the. We just watched this video today from Bungie, and you're talking about Mod System 2.0, which looks incredible. Mm-hmm. But it was basically saying that the way he showed it is that once you get a purple gear set, when this launches on October 1st, you can go and pick up the new gear set from the gunsmith. And he would give you all of these, but it's just basically that same gear 2.0. And I don't know if it's already masterwork, if you get masterwork, or if you have to masterwork it again, because it looked like he was putting materials into it to get a masterwork, because it's kind of a big deal now. Masterworking your gear will make it so you can get up to like 10 points to spend for mods on your gear. And some of the best mods like cost a lot, like 6 points or 5 points or whatever. So you can only put like X amount of mods in there. Like for the example that they put in the video was for his guy's helmet, he masterworked it up to 10. So there's no masterwork, he had 10 points to spend on it. The mods are unlockable as opposed to being like a one-time use. And he had enhanced snipe dexterity, I believe it was. And that cost 6 points to put into his helmet. So... And then he put in something else that was 3, and then I think like a burn or something like that was a 1 point. So he's able to get all max 10. Mm-hmm. But actually a reason to masterwork gear, which I never really did ever. Yeah. I don't think I masterworked one piece of gear all last year.
I had a set, and I just kept upgrading that one set because I didn't care. Like, I don't know. Nothing. I would never get a roll that I was like, oh my God, this is the end all be all for gloves or something. But
yeah, it just, I don't know. None of the gear was exciting. And even with like the mods, like the raid mods are definitely useful, but even at the same time, it's like, this is kind of boring. You know, it's not the kind of, I liked in Destiny 1 where you would get raid gear, and the raid gear would be like, you take less damage when you're doing like this activity. Like it's stuff that you're doing in the raid. I appreciated that. I don't know why they went away with that. It seemed like no one was asking for that to get taken away. They're like, oh, no one wants to, look like all the other Guardians. It's like, no, this is cool. Like that's why we would do the raid so much, like grind for that gear, and then
Plus, it was like in like
way.
an extra slot. Like you weren't losing a perk because of it. Like it just
Right,
had that
exactly.
extra perk.
Mm-hmm. I like this system. It feels a little more accessible. I like the like global ornaments or whatever it was. You can tack that on pretty much, I guess, a certain set, but
it's all of the. Why am I thinking of the Eververse gear? Is now ornaments that you can put on. I want to say it's all legendary gear, but I could be wrong. But it's like not exotics. Exotics you can't. Yeah. There's like exotic ornaments, but you can't like completely change the look of an exotic. But all legendary gear, I think you can put on an ornament that is Eververse stuff, which makes sense. They're going to make it the stuff that they can sell,
And I honestly feel better supporting them not being with Activision. So I feel like Activision had a hand in a lot of the shitty stuff people hated. Like shaders sucked, I feel like that was definitely terrible. An Activision thing. And
I would have to imagine that like all the things that I loved in Destiny was like kind of part of the plan, but since the initial release of Destiny was bad, they had to completely overhaul Destiny 2 to like save themselves, because it's all a numbers game. You're with Activision, it's like this isn't performing the way we wanted. We need you to do this, and mistakes were made.
I feel like Bungie feels more like that studio we wanted it to be, kind of thing. Where they're making the game for they're gamers making a game for the gamers, kind of thing. And I don't know,
action shooter, MMO, RPG.
Damn.
What was it? What was he? I can't remember what all he's saying. He's like, he's going to keep saying it until he believes it.
Yeah.
Luke Smith was saying this.
Yeah, but I like these like little sessions. Like today was a really eye-opening, like good on them. I felt it was solid. Sorry I overdressed and didn't have my pajama pants on for this podcast, by the way.
Oh my God. I don't know why that drove me nuts. When we were watching that stream, it's just like, man, she really wore pajamas and socks to the stream. And I'm like, man, if I don't have my shirt tucked in, I'm getting that like, that glared look, where it's like, you better tuck in your shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Crap. Whoops. I just got out of the bathroom. Sorry. Let me, but
let me dry the pee off.
Let me dry that off real quick.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty casual at my job, but that is just like shirts and jeans.
It's a little too casual.
Yeah. Pajamas and socks. I'm like, where you living where it's that cold too? Because it's hot as fuck over here where we're at. So.
Right. Well, Seattle.
Yeah. But even then it's hot still. Like,
yeah.
Their summers aren't great. So.
I miss like when I first started at my job, it was completely casual dress. I would come in like sweatpants and like a hoodie, but now it's all strictly business casual, like every day.
Yeah.
Sucks. Really? Friday we're allowed to wear jeans, and that's like,
oh my God.
Hey.
I want to wear shorts. That's my big thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, drives me nuts because girls
wear shorts.
Girls can wear shorts and dresses and open-toed shoes and shit, but guys can't.
I'm gonna wear a kilt and say it's acceptable and be good. So.
I'm like most of my time's out in the warehouse, and I hate like moving around doing stuff like in jeans. So yeah, I wear cargo shorts to work like every single day. When I used to work in the warehouse, I would just wear, even in the dead of winter, I wear cargo shorts. Now I'm not that ballsy, but
yeah, it gets hot. Yeah, I don't. Well, it sucks because I want to go walking. I walk outside. Like when everyone's smoking cigarette breaks, I go and walk, instead. Because I got to get those rings closed,
I noticed that. I would like, all of a sudden, I'd be at work and I'd be like, oh, Kirsch just completed a workout. I'm like, does he not work? What the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, I also have my dog. I got to walk her, so.
That's right.
It's high intensity walk.
No, it's just an outdoor walk.
That high intensity. Hey, Sean, how is that high intensity workout going for you right now? How's that hit?
Oh, shit.
How many calories you burned? Too many?
5,000 now.
Oh, shit. 5,000
I was going to say, it probably doesn't read if you're not moving.
Dang, you lost. It's not even showing up. Nothing's there.
Yeah, no, there's all the circles, 1,000 circles. So.
Well, we are just about at an hour, and I need to edit this podcast, and I also need to do some sort of workout to try and close my rings for the day.
Let's hang it. Wait, I have to talk about something. It's really long. So
yeah. No, go ahead, Sean.
So it all started when I was born.
This is going to be a long story.
No, I'm just kidding. Go for it. You can try to tie me up. That's all good.
I got to really beat out Sean here, so I can see he's getting close. He's getting close. Just take
the night off. You guys are already both beating me.
Wait. We didn't even mention it. We're missing someone, aren't we? Where's Sam? What's he doing? Yeah.
Oh shit. Was there a microtransaction thing going on?
There was something with microtransactions. Yeah. I remember him saying hey, he's apparently they're banning, microtransactions and putting these percentages on loot boxes, and he's this shit has to end. I need to do something more serious. So I think he said something going to Alaska to.
Yeah,
I guess he's gonna
right?
He's gonna hold polar bears hostages until the loot boxes can get rid of the percentages on there.
He's all about the anonymous numbers, So I think it's Anonymous Alaska is his protest trip. So.
He said something how can they hide the astronomically low percentages for all this rare stuff if they have to display it? Right. So. He said,
He was saying something he wants to pay per Pokemon kind of thing. That's,
that's what I heard too.
Every ball he throws, he wants to
right. It's right on the credit card.
It's you throw the Pokeball and then you guys have played Pokemon where it shakes, and it shakes, and it'll either break free or come loose. What happens is it shakes. It's how bad do you want this Pokemon? Insert a quarter to catch it.
I thought you were gonna say it's actually your wallet turned upside down and shaped
That's exactly it.
Coins are coming out.
Well, knowing Nintendo, you pay real money to buy one resource, and then you use that resource to buy other resources, and then use those resources to pay to get that Pokemon.
Right, exactly.
Ponzi scheme. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was looking at the percentages for some of their loot box E-type crap. I didn't know that many zeros could go behind a period. They just string that shit out. Oh my god! At least you're transparent, but damn.
I'm actually curious. So a lot of people were mad at me because in Apex Legends, I got that.
Oh my god!
That what? I don't even know the girl's name. What's that heirloom for whatever chick in there? And I thought it was something that you get after level 5, here's your gift, because that's when I got it. It was level 5 of me playing. I'm oh shit, I got this stuff, and I didn't even say anything about it. And then someone's asking, oh, there's a super rare stuff. You get this. I was I think I got that. And they're no, you didn't. Yeah. And I showed them. We're holy shit, he got it. So our buddy
you got the kunai for the Wraith, the Wraith heirloom kunai thing.
Exactly. And our good buddy Gigi Schwartzy. He's been playing day in and day out all the time, and he still has not got it. So I'm really curious to see what the drop rate on that thing is and see how lucky I actually got.
That's interesting.
Dude, I'm so jealous too. That was.
Sorry, I don't even play that game anymore either. If I can give it to someone, I probably would.
I mean, you peaked right there, so you don't really have to.
What happened with? What was the deal with them lately? I see that they're in some hot water. Apex.
I don't know about hot water. I know there's the solo mode.
Yeah, okay. I don't keep up with it, but I saw someone had posted Anthem was doing good and Apex is not so good.
Yeah, who's saying that Anthem's doing well?
I think the 6 people that are still playing Anthem are loving it and saying that it's so good.
Hey, they're going to keep that subreddit alive somehow.
Oh, man. What do you say, guys? Should we get out of here?
Yeah. I might do a recording tonight. We'll see.
Recording?
For my spooky game channel.
Oh, we're going to talk more about this next week.
Yes.
But for right now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Wordness to the Nerdness podcast. Be sure to tweet at us at Words to the Nerds. Check us out on YouTube now if you want to see these visuals, see what these handsome mugs look like. Till then, Stay nerdy, friends.
Later.
Yeah.
Peace.